You guys ready to go get something to eat?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's eat! Welcome to Hunt and Gather with the Chatters. Today we're going to be roasting a wild turkey. We have a really cool cookbook. It has everything you need to know about cooking wild game, but specifically the secrets behind roasting a delicious bird. Are you guys ready to go learn something neat? All right. This is the turkey. It's about 8 pounds, and that's a pretty typical size for a wild bird. But something to know about wild birds compared to birds that you buy at the store, they are not treated the same way. So first and foremost, the biggest difference is our bird is skinned, it's skinless. We've removed the skin and the feathers, whereas most birds that are in the store, they've got the skin on them, and so they just stay moisture while you're cooking them. But wild game, it's hard to process the same way as a big manufacturer, and so what we do to compensate for that moisture is we do a brining. And here is just a one-stop shop for roasting birds. It comes with a brine table and a roasting table based on whatever you're making. All right, so we are ready to start making our brine. We're gonna put pepper, garlic, salt. I have some barbecue sauce. You can also use soy sauce. And I thought I'd give it a little extra edge with some oregano. These proportions have already been measured out for my 8-pound bird. And I also chopped up about half a cup of onion. You can add any seasonings that you like. As far as the salt, you're gonna want to only add salt during the brining process, and when we get to go to roast it, we won't be adding any more salt. It's gonna have plenty of salt from this. So I'm gonna put my salt in there. Garlic. My pepper plus a little oregano. And then, woo. Add some water. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of water right now because I want to get it fully mixed before I add more water in. It just gets harder to mix the salt and everything else. Once I have it fairly well mixed, I'm gonna add some more water. And I've already looked to see whether or not my bird would fit in this bowl, and it's not gonna. Turkeys are really tall, and so those legs, along with the rest of the body, make it so that it almost never fits in this bowl. And I don't have anything bigger. So what I like to do is use a produce bag, and that allows me to have the turkey fully submerged, but not require a huge container for it. All right, so we got our brine mixture, and I think this pot's gonna work better than that, just 'cause it's a little bit taller, especially for at least getting my bird in there with some of the brine solution. And I'm gonna add more water. I'm just kind of waiting until I see how much the bird's gonna need. Put it in there. And then I'm gonna lift him neck breast side down, just because that's the best eating area. And then I'm gonna fill the rest of the body cavity in this bag as full as I can get it with the solution. And I still have some salt in here because water can only hold so much salt, and so that's why the measurements are what they are. In order for that salt to actually be absorbed into the water and then therefore into the bird, you have to have the proper mix. And so it's a gallon of water to the mixtures that I did. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Getting that guy filled up. As I start to squeeze the air out of him, the bag, so not the bird, but the bag, you can see that brine solution is wanting to kind of come up. So I'm going to seal off the bag just like this. because of the weight of the water itself, I can't quite get it to go all the way up. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end up rotating the bird about halfway through the brining process. I'm gonna brine for 4 hours, rotate it, brine for another 4 hours. And then after that, I'll show you what the next step is. One other thing to remind you of is that we need to do the brining process at refrigerated temperature. This can't be done at room temperature. So I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator, and then our giblets, when we get done brining and we get ready to cook this guy, we'll go ahead and we'll cook the giblets. But they're so small that if we were to brine them, they would become overly salty and not very good. All right, so I officially finished brining the turkey. I rinsed it off real well, and now we're getting ready to roast it. I have my oven set for 325, and all of the information on the brining solution, how long, and what to roast it at can be found in this book, and this book can be found on Amazon. So if you're interested in finding out more, please check it out. In the meantime, I've already salted this bird plenty. So all I'm gonna do is add a little bit more seasoning, and again, because this is a skinless bird, I wanna add as much moisture as possible. So I'm gonna add a coating of olive oil all over the bird. So I want to put him breast side up after I've got that side coated with oil. And then I'm just going to add a little more garlic and a little bit more oregano. Both of these were in my brine, but I would like to continue to add more flavor as it's baking. All right. Something that I'm going to do too, just to make sure my bird kind of stays intact and isn't flopping around, more contained while I'm baking it, is I'm going to take some twine and I'm going to wrap its legs together as well as its arms or wings. And then I've taken 2 sheets of foil that I've folded over together, and I'm going to fully encase him so that when he's baking, all that moisture is staying in there. When he's cooked for about 2 hours and 45 minutes, I'll take that foil off and let him just brown up real nicely. But in the meantime, I want to get kind of a steamed cook while it's doing its initial cook. So let's go ahead and tie up his legs and we'll get him in the oven. All right, my bird is ready to go into the oven and my oven's preheated. So I'm going to get him in there. Set in the oven for 2 hours and 45 minutes, and then I'll check him. And then I'm gonna get my neck that was part of the brining solution, and then my giblets, and get those going on the stove. This makes a nice gravy for mashed potatoes or stuffing. I'm not sure what we're gonna do. We might just use it over the meat. But we'll get that boiling on the stove and let that boil for a couple of hours just to really tenderize everything. Time to get that turkey out. Oh, that is awesome. All right, so I turned it up to 425 after it cooked for 3 hours and let it kind of just brown for about 15 minutes. Now we're gonna let it cool, and then we can bone out the meat and give it a taste.
Let's eat!
All right, I'm gonna go first. This is the first wild turkey we've had in a couple of years. Really good. It's still a little chewy, but I can taste the brine. It's a nice salty texture and it's good. It's really good.
And what do you think?
Yeah, it's really good. It's nice and salty and it has good flavor.
First archery turkey ever. Does it taste any different than a rifle turkey?
Shotgun turkey?
Or a shotgun turkey.
That's awesome. That brine is totally the answer to take a wild turkey and make it taste like a store-bought turkey.
Yeah?
Love it. Yeah, good job.
And you got a leg, right?
I got a leg and a little bit of a breast.
Thanks for watching Hunt and Gather with the Chatters.
We'll see you next time when we go get something to eat.
And please subscribe, it's free and it helps us out.